Beloved, chosen one, I want you to pause for a moment and truly let this sink in. Right now, in this very instant, heaven is watching with eager anticipation because this moment is not by chance. It is not coincidence that you've arrived at this point in your life, and it's certainly not a random twist of fate that you are hearing these words today. No, beloved, this is divine appointment, a moment set aside by God Himself prepared just for you. You are not here by accident. You were never a mistake, nor were you ever just another soul wandering aimlessly through the expanse of time. Your existence was carefully crafted by God with purpose and intent. You were a divine idea created to bring forth light in the darkest of times. God's divine laughter echoes through the heavens, not in mockery, but in triumphant celebration of the victory that is already secured in your life. Imagine it. God Himself watching your journey from the heavens, laughing not at your struggles, but at the audacity of the enemy's attempts to stop you. Heaven's laughter is a sound of complete fulfillment because in spite of every storm that tried to drown you, in spite of every trial that sought to break your spirit, you remain standing. Your faith unshaken and steadfast is the very thing that brings joy to the heart of God. From the very day you were born, heaven smiled upon you. God knew even before you took your first breath that you would be tested by fire, and yet you would carry light. He knew that you would face battles, some you didn't even understand, and that in the midst of those battles you would emerge victorious. You may not have realized it yet, but every hardship, every challenge, and every tear you shed was a part of a divine plan that could never be thwarted. Every single moment of doubt, every time you felt like giving up, heaven was recording your journey, and angels were whispering, "Hold on, your dawn is coming." And when that dawn finally broke, it wasn't just the light of a new day that was ushered in. No, this dawn brought something far more powerful, divine laughter. The laughter of God echoing across eternity, a triumphant declaration that you, the chosen one, refused to give up. You chose faith, not fear. You chose to stand even when the weight of the world tried to knock you down. You became a living testament to the truth that faith, when held steadfast, always triumphs. The world may not understand you, but heaven sees you for who you truly are, a sign and a wonder. You are not like the world, and that's exactly how God designed you to be. You are the evidence that grace wins, that purpose cannot die, that even in the darkest of seasons, destiny breathes, and the plan God wrote for your life will always find a way to manifest. It's easy to look at the storms you've endured and wonder, why me? But the truth is, these very storms were the vehicles of your anointing. God allowed them because He knew that through the fire you would be purified. And not only that, He also knew that every trial would bring you closer to the divine purpose He placed in your heart before time began. God's laughter is not a reaction to mockery, but rather a sign of the fulfillment of His promises. He saw what the enemy meant to destroy you, and He laughed because He knew the outcome long before the battle began. The victory was already secured, even when you couldn't see it. Your journey wasn't an accident. The battles you faced, the moments of confusion, the times you thought you were forgotten by the world, they were all part of God's divine plan. Heaven has been working behind the scenes, arranging everything in perfect timing, and now as you stand at this very moment, you are witnessing the culmination of God's work. Your life is a testimony to His faithfulness. Heaven's laughter is the soundtrack to your victory, and it's only just beginning. The world may not understand why you are still standing, but heaven knows. You are a living proof that God's plan is unstoppable, and His laughter will continue to echo through your life as you rise higher and higher. You were never a mistake. Your life was written long before you were born, and your purpose is unfolding in ways that no enemy, no trial, no storm can stop. Heaven's laughter is the sound of victory over everything that tried to bring you down. The battles you fought, the tears you cried, the silence you endured, it was all a part of the divine tapestry that is now being revealed. Your faith has led you to this moment of fulfillment. And the laughter of God is the sound of that fulfillment, of you walking fully into your destiny, fully alive in His purpose. So, beloved chosen one, stand tall and hear this. You are not here by accident. You are here because God has a divine purpose for you, and He is celebrating your victory with laughter that rings through eternity. Heaven is watching, and it is rejoicing in your faith. You are exactly where you were always meant to be. Your purpose was written before your birth, and the victory has already been won. There is a power within you that has been cultivated through every trial, every storm, and every moment of suffering. It's a power that does not shine immediately, a strength that is often unseen by the world, but is witnessed only by the heavens. This is the power of divine endurance. You may not have realized it, but every hardship you faced was the very thing that equipped you for the calling that rests on your life. As you walked through the fire, you did not burn. Instead, you were being purified, molded, and shaped into a vessel of purpose and anointed strength. You have faced storms that seemed relentless, and there were times when it felt like the world itself was conspiring against your peace. But here's the truth you must hold close to your heart. Every storm was never meant to defeat you. It was meant to reveal the strength that lay dormant within you. The trials you faced were the very tools that God used to reveal His power in your life. They were never a sign of punishment, but a sign of divine preparation. Through every tear, every painful moment, and every moment you felt you couldn't go on, heaven was strengthening you. It's in the most challenging times when everything feels like it's falling apart that your true power emerges. You may have felt abandoned, misunderstood, or even betrayed, but in those hidden places, God was at work. What the enemy intended to break you down, God used to build you up. What felt like the end was merely a transition into something greater. Heaven was never silent during your suffering. It was quietly preparing the stage for your victory. Through it all, you were becoming who God always knew you to be, strong, steadfast, and ready for your divine purpose. As you walked through the storms, you were not just surviving, you were building endurance. Endurance isn't about merely getting through, it's about growing stronger in the process. Every challenge you faced added another layer of strength to your character. Your spirit became fortified by the relentless trials, and your faith grew deeper. Each obstacle was a stepping stone not towards defeat, but towards divine elevation. God was working behind the scenes, preparing your soul for the anointing He had waiting for you, and every storm you survived made that anointing more powerful. When the storms raged and the enemy tried to break your spirit, heaven stood with you rejoicing. The divine laughter echoed in the heavens because God saw what others could not. He saw your faith, your perseverance, and your unwavering belief in His promises. Every time you chose to rise instead of retreat, heaven celebrated your victory. It wasn't that the battles weren't hard. It wasn't that you didn't have moments of doubt. But despite everything, you refused to quit. And for that, God smiled, knowing that the journey you were walking would lead to something magnificent. But the laughter of heaven wasn't just about the endurance you showed in the battle. It was about the strength that came from enduring in silence. There were times when you felt overlooked, as though you were unseen, your pain unacknowledged by the world. In those moments of solitude, when it felt like no one was watching, God was preparing you in secret. It is in those quiet, hidden moments that the deepest work is done. When you were alone with your thoughts, with your prayers, and with your faith, heaven was doing something profound in you. You may have asked yourself, why was I hidden for so long? The truth is, during those times when you felt forgotten, you were actually being prepared for what was ahead. God's plan for you wasn't ever about instant recognition or fame. It was about divine timing and purpose. You were hidden so that the world couldn't contaminate what God was building in you. The secret seasons of your life were not a punishment, they were a sacred preparation for the greatness God had in store for you. God's preparation doesn't always look like we expect it to. It doesn't come with applause or recognition. It doesn't always show up in the public eye, but in the quiet, private spaces where only He can see the progress being made. While the world was busy chasing fleeting success, God was shaping you in ways that would last for eternity. Every rejection, every disappointment, and every time you felt unseen was a divine orchestration to protect and prepare you for your purpose. And in that secret place, faith was being planted like seeds in the soil. You couldn't see it at the time, but each quiet prayer, each act of obedience, each moment where you chose faith over fear was a seed being sown for your future. Those seeds were not wasted. They were being cultivated, watered by God's grace, and prepared for the day when they would blossom into the full manifestation of your divine purpose. Obedience in the hidden seasons is what ultimately leads to divine breakthrough. It is through choosing faith in the unseen, trusting God's timing, and staying faithful even when you cannot understand the process that the greatest breakthroughs occur. You may not have realized it, but every act of obedience, no matter how small or unnoticed by the world, was a stepping stone toward your ultimate victory. God doesn't reward us based on how loud we shout or how much recognition we receive. His reward is for those who are obedient, even in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you chose to stand firm in your faith, even when the world told you to give up, you were positioning yourself for the greatest victory of all. The battles you fought in silence, the moments of prayer, when you felt no one was listening, those are the moments that matter most to God. It was in those moments that your character was refined and your purpose was secured. Obedience brings about divine elevation. When you chose to trust God in the darkest seasons, when you continued to walk, when every part of you wanted to stop, you opened the door for God to work His miracles in your life. What seemed like delay was actually God's setup for double glory. Every time you chose obedience, you stepped closer to the breakthrough God had prepared for you from the beginning. The victory wasn't just about surviving, it was about becoming who God intended for you to be, a vessel of His glory, a testament to His power, and a reflection of His divine purpose. God takes every moment of suffering and turns it into something glorious. The pain you felt, the battles you fought in secret, have now become the very foundation of your victory. Your suffering was never wasted. It became the soil in which your faith took root, and that faith has brought forth a harvest of divine breakthrough. Through your obedience, through your willingness to stay the course, you have moved from suffering to glory. God's glory has always been written over your life, but it was in your obedience through each act of faith in the hidden seasons that you stepped into it. Your journey from suffering to glory is a testimony to the transforming power of God's love and grace. Every trial you faced, every storm you weathered was part of a greater plan, one that was unfolding in secret but is now beginning to shine brightly for all to see. So, chosen one, as you reflect on the journey you've walked, know this: your endurance has unlocked the doors to your destiny. The divine power you carry was forged in the fire, refined in the silence, and now it shines brighter than ever. Every step you took, no matter how small, led you to this moment, the moment where you stand in your victory with the laughter of heaven echoing in your soul. Divine laughter is not something the world often talks about, but it holds a profound meaning in the context of your journey. You may have heard the phrase, God laughs or heaven rejoices, but I want you to understand at a deeper level what that really means for your life. God's laughter is not mockery. It is not a cruel or mocking laugh that laughs at your pain or struggles. No, beloved, God's laughter is something far more powerful. It is a symbol of victory, a victory that transcends time and space, a victory over darkness, despair, and the forces that sought to bring you down. When God laughs, it is not a laughter of mockery, but of triumph. It is the sound of heaven rejoicing because the plans of the enemy have failed and your faith has triumphed over everything that tried to steal your joy. God's laughter is a sacred and divine affirmation that what was meant to destroy you could not touch you. The enemy may have thought they had you cornered, that your struggles would be the end of your story, but heaven was always one step ahead. God knew the victory before the battle ever began. And when you stayed faithful, when you held on to his promises in the midst of darkness, that is when God laughed in victory. His laughter is a reminder that no matter how difficult the journey, no matter how long the night, joy comes in the morning. His laughter echoes the truth that grace has won, that you have overcome, and that your purpose will always rise above any trial. In the spiritual realm, laughter is often associated with the release of joy, freedom, and a sense of fulfillment. It represents the culmination of God's plan, a plan that has always been in motion. When God laughs, it is not to ridicule your pain, but to declare you have been chosen and you are victorious. The enemy's schemes to break you, to make you doubt, to make you feel like you would never make it, all of those efforts failed because God had already ordained your victory. His laughter is the sound of that victory. It's the sound that says, despite what you've gone through, you are still standing. It's a sound that reverberates throughout the heavens, a sound that shakes the foundations of everything that would dare to stand in the way of your divine purpose. This divine laughter is what you hear when you rise from the ashes. It is what you feel when you move from a place of pain to a place of purpose. God's laughter is what you hear when you begin to walk in the fullness of your calling, when you understand that your struggles were never meant to defeat you, but to build you into the person you were always meant to be. It's the laughter of heaven resounding with joy because God knows what you are capable of. He always has. And now you are seeing the fruits of your labor, the fruits of your faith, and the fruits of your perseverance. When heaven laughs, it is not a sign of mockery. It is the echo of God's victory, and that victory is yours because you chose to trust him through the darkness. It's the sound of your breakthrough, the sound of your transformation, and the sound of the divine purpose unfolding in your life. One of the most powerful aspects of divine laughter is its connection to divine timing. You see, heaven operates on a timeline that is far greater than the one we see with our earthly eyes. God's plan for your life was set in motion long before you were born, and everything you've experienced, every storm you've faced, every victory you've claimed has been a part of a greater divine design. The timing of your victory has never been delayed. It has always been right on schedule. When you look back on your life, you might see moments where you felt like time was moving too slowly. You may have wondered, why is it taking so long? Or why does it feel like everyone else is moving ahead of me? But let me assure you, nothing in God's plan is ever delayed. What seems like a delay is often a divine setup for greater glory. The moments when you felt stagnant, when it felt like nothing was happening, were actually moments when God was preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've overcome has been a part of God's perfect timing. And now, as you stand at the cusp of a new season, you will begin to see how all those seemingly delayed moments were exactly what you needed to bring you to this very moment. God's timing is always perfect. It is never too early and never too late. It is always exactly when you need it. And when you begin to understand that, you will see that what you thought were setbacks were simply the prelude to your breakthrough. The things that seemed like delays were actually the groundwork being laid for your divine elevation. The laughter of God rings through these moments, echoing the truth that even what was meant to hold you back has now become the very foundation upon which your purpose will stand. Every challenge you faced, every setback you experienced, every door that seemed to close was actually a setup for God's greater glory. It's hard to see this when you're in the middle of the struggle, but now looking back, you can see how every trial was divinely orchestrated to position you for something far greater than you could have imagined. When you were faced with obstacles that seemed insurmountable, God was preparing you for the victory that would come after the fight. When you faced moments of doubt and discouragement, God was shaping your character, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for the powerful future He had in store for you. Every time you felt rejected, overlooked, or misunderstood, heaven was working behind the scenes, positioning you for the moment when the world would recognize the strength and power within you. Every challenge that came your way was not meant to defeat you, but to refine you, to make you stronger, and to prepare you for the mission that you were born to fulfill. And in this divine orchestration, God was laughing not in mockery, but in celebration, because He knew that through every setback, you would rise higher and that you would eventually see His glory revealed in your life. Now we arrive at one of the most significant aspects of your journey, the power of faithful endurance. It's easy to give up when the road gets tough, to turn back when the going gets rough. But you, beloved chosen one, have shown the world and heaven alike that you are not like everyone else. You did not give up. You did not quit. You endured. You walked through the storm with unwavering faith, and because of that, heaven is rejoicing. Faithful endurance is the key to unlocking divine power. It's the ability to trust in God's promises, even when you cannot see the outcome. It's the strength to continue moving forward when everything around you tells you to stop. This is the kind of endurance that shifts the spiritual atmosphere, that moves mountains, and that opens doors that no man can shut. Your endurance, even in silence, has been a declaration of your faith. You chose to trust God when everything seemed to be falling apart, and that trust has brought you to the brink of your divine breakthrough. In those quiet moments when it seemed like nothing was happening, you were silently building a foundation of faith that would support your greatest victory. The power of endurance is not in the external triumphs. It is in the quiet moments of surrender. It is in the moments when you chose peace over panic, when you chose to be still instead of reacting. Your silence became your strength. And now, as you step into the fullness of your purpose, you will see that every moment of quiet endurance has prepared you for this season of victory. Silence and surrender are two of the most powerful tools in accessing divine power and peace. When the world is loud, when the pressure is overwhelming, and when the need to act seems urgent, it is easy to forget the power of stillness. But it is in the silence, in the moments of surrender, that you access the deepest well of God's strength. Your ability to be still, to trust God, without needing to see all the answers, has positioned you for the divine breakthrough that is coming. It is in the quiet moments that God speaks the loudest. In the stillness, you find peace that transcends understanding. In the surrender, you find divine power. And now, as you move forward in your journey, remember that your endurance, your willingness to trust in the unseen, to surrender to God's timing, has been the key that unlocked the divine victory waiting for you. Your faith, your endurance, and your surrender have all led you to this moment of divine fulfillment. Heaven laughs because it knows that nothing can stop the purpose God has placed in you. As you stand here, having walked through fire, through storms, and through seasons of silence, there is one thing that is now undeniably true. You are rising. What the world tried to destroy, God has used to build you. You may have felt overlooked, underestimated, and even mocked at times, but what others failed to see, heaven always knew. The very things that tried to tear you down have now become the stepping stones to your greatest victory. This is the moment when your persistence, your faith, and your obedience have culminated in something that no one can deny, the manifestation of your divine victory. You've been through battles that seemed impossible, where it felt like everyone around you was either against you or unaware of the storm you were weathering. And through it all, there were those who mocked you. There were moments when others questioned your faith, laughed at your dreams, and doubted your ability to succeed. But what the enemy did not understand was that each moment of mockery, each word of doubt, and every rejection you faced was merely a backdrop to the magnificent manifestation of God's victory in your life. God's triumph is not found in a world that applauds only success. It is found in the unseen moments when you chose faith over fear, trust over doubt, and perseverance over quitting. The mockery of others, their attempts to undermine your journey, was never a sign of failure. It was simply a prelude to the greater glory that was coming. Heaven has always been watching, and what others saw as a defeat, God saw as a victory in the making. The mockery, the rejection, the belittling, it all served a purpose. It became the very evidence of God's triumph in your life. You see, the world often judges by outward appearances, but God judges the heart. The mockers couldn't see what God was doing in you. They couldn't see that each time they pushed you down, you rose up stronger. They didn't understand that every rejection was simply a redirection, a divine preparation for your elevation. Every time you were knocked down, you rose again, and that is what makes you different. That resilience, that refusal to be defeated, is what God celebrates. What others saw as weakness became the very thing that revealed God's strength in you. The transformation of your pain and rejection into platforms for glory is the proof that God's plan was always working behind the scenes. You were never buried in your struggles. You were planted. And now as you rise, what was once seen as a dark and painful season is now your platform for greatness. The pain that others thought would break you has become the very foundation upon which God is building his testimony in your life. The rejection that came your way is now the testimony that others will see and know that God is victorious in your life. Your victory has not only been manifested in the heavens, but is now being revealed to the world. What they said you couldn't do, God is proving that you were always meant to do it. Now, as you step into this new season, it's important to recognize something powerful. Heaven is not just watching you succeed, it is celebrating you. There is a divine celebration taking place in the spiritual realm because heaven recognizes your persistence and your obedience. Every time you chose to trust God despite the circumstances, heaven took notice. Every moment you endured hardship, not by your strength, but by God's grace, was recorded in heaven's courts as an act of divine faithfulness. And now heaven's approval is not just a whisper, but a loud and resounding affirmation of your journey. God is not distant from your struggle. He has been right there with you, every step of the way. And as you've persevered, as you've chosen faith in the midst of your trials, heaven has been rejoicing. The angels in heaven have witnessed your heart, your resolve, and your willingness to walk in obedience to God's calling, even when it wasn't easy. This is why heaven is celebrating you, because your obedience has broken chains, your endurance has shifted atmospheres, and your persistence has led you into the fullness of God's promises. Every time you chose to remain faithful, even when the circumstances made no sense, you were unlocking the promises God made to you. You were stepping into a realm where God's faithfulness was fully realized. And now heaven rejoices not just because you have reached this point, but because you have proven that you were always meant for this. God's promises are not just for those who start strong, but for those who finish strong. And you, beloved, have finished with grace. Heaven is looking at you with joy, knowing that your obedience has brought you to this place of divine fulfillment. This is not just a victory for you, it is a victory for the kingdom of God. You have become a reflection of his faithfulness, and heaven is applauding your journey. The divine promises that once seemed distant are now unfolding before your eyes. And the best part, This is just the beginning. As heaven celebrates your obedience, it also prepares you for the greater glory that is to come. This season is only the prelude to what God is about to do in and through you. As you step into this new season, remember that the journey is far from over. The victory you are experiencing is not the end of the story. It is simply a new chapter in the divine narrative that God is writing for your life. What has been revealed to you now is only a glimpse of the glory that is to come. This is a season of divine favor, joy, and peace favor that will open doors no man can shut, joy that will radiate from your soul, and peace that will surpass all understanding. But it's important to remember that this is not a time to rest on past victories. It is a time to embrace the unfolding of greater blessings and purpose. The chosen ones do not just walk in the light of their past victories. They continue to rise, continue to walk, and continue to shine in the new season that God is bringing them into. This is your time to step fully into the identity that God has always had for you. You are no longer merely surviving the storm, you are living in the fullness of God's grace and favor. And as you move forward, you will begin to see how heaven's laughter is becoming a part of your daily life. The laughter of God is not just something that exists in the past, it is a present reality that you get to experience. Each step you take, each moment you breathe is filled with the joy and the laughter of heaven. You are not walking alone. You are walking in divine partnership with the Creator of the universe. His laughter fills your heart, His joy fills your soul, and His peace surrounds you in every circumstance. You are living in the fullness of His divine plan, and you will continue to see the manifestation of His glory as you walk in obedience and faith. This journey is about more than just achieving personal success. It is about becoming a reflection of heaven's grace, a vessel of God's love, and a carrier of His light. You are not just meant to experience the laughter of heaven for yourself, you are meant to carry it to others. As you step into your divine destiny, you will become a source of inspiration, a beacon of hope, and a light that leads others out of darkness. Your victory is not just for you, it is for those who will come after you, for the generations that will be touched by the testimony of God's faithfulness in your life. So, chosen one, as you walk into this new season of divine favor, joy, and peace, know that you are not just walking for yourself. You are walking as a reflection of heaven's laughter. You are walking as a living testimony to the power of God's grace, the victory of His love, and the triumph of His purpose. And as you continue on this journey, remember that your story is far from over. You are stepping into a greater season of glory, a season of divine fulfillment, and a season where the laughter of heaven will continue to echo through your life. As we come to the close of this message, let me remind you of something vitally important. God's presence has never left you, and His divine victory continues to unfold in your life right here, right now. The laughter of heaven that we have spoken about is not a momentary sound. It is a constant, ongoing declaration of your victory. From the moment you were born, heaven began to cheer you on, knowing that you would walk through every trial with faith and emerge victorious. And now, as you walk in this divine purpose, remember that God's presence surrounds you like a constant wave of love and assurance. His victory is not a single event, but a continuous unfolding story of grace, favor, and triumph that stretches far beyond what you can see right now. God's hand has been upon you from the beginning, and it will never leave you. His laughter, which symbolizes His triumph over the darkness that tried to consume you, is forever ringing in the heavens. Every step you take, every decision you make is part of this divine narrative, this unfolding victory that God is orchestrating in your life. You are not walking this path alone. Heaven is rejoicing with you, and every moment of perseverance, every act of faith is witnessed and celebrated in the spiritual realms. The victory that you are living right now is a testimony to the power of divine purpose, one that has been set in motion from eternity past, and it is only the beginning of what's to come. Now that you have heard this message, it is time for you to rise and walk boldly in your divine identity. You are not just someone passing through life. You are a chosen one, a vessel of divine purpose, a reflection of heaven's laughter. God has placed you here with a purpose, and now it is your time to step into that purpose fully. The world needs you to walk in your calling, to stand strong in your faith, and to share your testimony of what God has done in your life. Your story is a living testament to His power, and when you share it with others, you are not only lifting up your own faith, but you are lighting the way for others to walk in the same victory you have found. I encourage you today, chosen one, to align your life with heaven's rhythm. Walk in faith. Trust in God's perfect timing and surrender to the divine plan He has written for you. Every step you take in obedience, every moment you choose faith over fear, is a moment that aligns you more closely with the powerful rhythm of heaven. It's in this alignment that you will find your greatest peace and strength. It is in this rhythm that you will see doors open, miracles unfold, and blessings pour out upon your life. Trust in God's plan for you, even when it feels uncertain or difficult. The laughter of heaven is your constant companion, reminding you that victory has already been secured for you. This is your time to shine, to rise, and to embrace the fullness of your divine identity. Heaven has placed something extraordinary within you, and it's time for the world to see it. Walk boldly in your calling, knowing that heaven laughs in celebration as you step fully into your destiny. And so I speak over you today a prophetic declaration. God's laughter surrounds you, and with it comes joy, victory, and grace. These are the inheritance of those who remain faithful. Every challenge you've faced, every struggle you've endured has prepared you for this moment. The victory you now walk in is not just for you, it is for the generations to come. Your endurance, your faithfulness, and your obedience have not only shaped your life, but have paved the way for others to follow. The joy you carry is not just for your own peace. It is a light that will shine on the path for others to walk in. Know that you are not just a survivor. You are a conqueror. The laughter of heaven is not just a sound. It is a divine decree. It is God's way of saying it is finished. Every moment you walk in faith, every step you take with trust, is a declaration that God has already won the victory for you. You are living proof that grace wins, that faith conquers, and that divine purpose always prevails. So let this truth settle deep within your heart. You are the chosen one. You are victorious. Heaven's laughter is your song. And as you continue your journey, may the joy of God's presence fill you with unshakable peace, unwavering confidence, and a powerful sense of purpose. The laughter of God will be with you now, and always leading you into new seasons of glory and divine favor.